The next award we're presenting is the Smoky Sakurada Friends of Friends Award. This is given to individual volunteers who support FOTP staff on their mission. This year we're recognizing Christopher Didato. Chris is a community activist, art enthusiast, and biking advocate from the southwest side of the city. Prior to the pandemic, Chris could often be seen riding his bike to a variety of events he supported, such as political campaigns, music concerts, and plays. He's also a very familiar face at Critical Mass Bike Rides and We Ride Juntos, which is a cross-community collaboration that brings bike riders from North and South Lawndale together in a show of unity. As part of keeping active during the stay-at-home, Chris began to join his mother Sandra on her walks with their pet, SK the Wonder Dog. Marquette Park became a frequent site for them after they watched one of our Zoom walks that we hosted in 2020. Their visits during all types of weather led Chris to notice the conditions at the park, which in turn motivated him to organize a cleanup this past spring. Chris would also often email us with ideas for more engagement and to share ideas or feedback on other activities that he was involved in, such as karaoke in the parks that he was hoping to bring to Marquette at some point. Chris could not be with us today, but instead we have a clip from the day of the cleanup at Marquette where Chris shares his thoughts with us. Thank you, Christopher Didato, for the support and enthusiasm in keeping attention on Marquette Park, and we present you with the Smoky Sakurada Friends of Friends Award.
This park has so much potential because it is such a big park. It's just a really gorgeous to see all the green around. In your neighborhood, you see a lot of gray, a lot of asphalt. So it's like there's a way to, be around nature. It has a lagoon, so that's really pretty just to hang out and to, be calm and just watch the geese or watch the ducks in the lagoon. So you have like soccer fields, like people can play soccer, basketball courts. There's a lot of places where there's garbage, and you want to see people come out to the park to try to involve people, connect people to the park. People have, the ability to say, hey, I helped out and I made the park a better place,
Hello, I'm Grace Chan McKibben, Executive Director of Coalition for a Better Chinese American Community, CBCAC.
And I'm Vivian Zhang, Outreach Coordinator of the Coalition of a Better Chinese American Community.
We are thrilled to receive the 2021 Isolation Inspiration Award from Friends of the Parks. CBCAC has been working with the Nature Conservancy and Chicago Park District to design and offer activities in Ping Tom, Parmigiano, and McKinley parks, so residents living near these parks can enjoy the beautiful nature area at these parks. The nature photography class, led by photography teacher Rebecca Mamoli, was the first time in 18 months that we were able to have an in-person class in the parks while keeping safe social distance.
We had 4 sessions with the participants. During our first session, we walked around with the teacher and took photos in the natural areas. Some parents even brought their own cameras and listened in. During our second session, we discussed what nature means, and Lucy showed them how to take flora and fauna identification photos and upload them onto the iNaturalist app. Our third session was an art critique with Rebecca, where the teens were able to talk amongst their peers and get some critique and reflect on their strongest photos. It was a great opportunity to see the kids in our community take on the role of both scientists and artists in their community.
Everyone enjoyed the class so much. We had the students submit photos, and we had an exhibition at McKinley Park Fieldhouse, and parents and students keep asking when they can do this again.
And now we have the Park Activation Innovation Award. This award is to recognize an individual or group that organized something particularly creative or that reached way beyond their usual group or audience to engage neighbors in safe, socially distanced use of parks and nature during COVID-19. This year's honorees are the Mobilize Creative Collaborative for their work in hosting outdoor art-making events at parks on the south and west sides. We have a brief clip from the collaborative that tells us about the project they did this summer and a little bit about themselves.
Hello, my name is William Estrada.
I'm Maria Spont-Lemus.
And we are part of the Mobilize Creative Collaborative, which is a group of 4 artists that includes Akil Charlton, myself, William, Andres Lemus-Spont, and Maria Spont-Lemus, who utilize mobile maker spaces to provide free arts workshop for youth and adults in public spaces. Formed in 2016, the MCC acts as an intergenerational platform for popular education, communal creation, and arts-based organizing within and across communities in which we live, work, and create on Chicago's south and southwest sides.
As a collective and through our individual projects, we have engaged thousands of people through events across Chicago at parks, block parties, activist gatherings, and more. We believe that communal creation is a community building act that has transformative potential, and that creating rather than accepting what exists can inspire belief in one's agency. Our shared mission is part of a longstanding history in popular education that focuses on amplifying the work, knowledge, and power already present in communities.
This summer, we had the great opportunity of working with a group of individuals. The MCC presented Mobilize, Creative Blocks Collective Dreams, a series of 5 free week-long community gatherings that happen outdoors in neighborhoods on Chicago's south and southwest side. Co-designed with a team of partner artists and partner organizers who are also rooted in these places. These events happen in Little Village, Roseland, Kenwood, Oakland, and Bronzeville, Washington Park, and McKinley Park, primarily in parks, and also at a community garden, a formal school, and a vacant lot. The Mobilize gatherings brought together local residents, artists, and organizers of all ages to engage in creative workshops, critical dialogues, and playful explorations focused around justice and the dreams of their communities. With participatory music, art, and theater activities, live performances, skill sharing, and more, we hope to amplify and connect existing local efforts, as well as to cultivate spaces that center imagination, joy, and people-led solutions. By connecting people both within and across communities, we hope to create the time and space for facilitated discussions, imaginative play, and communal making, as well as to learn from each other and help build trust, shared visions, creative action, and of course, collective power.
The MCC convened and facilitated the process of the broader team in designing the week-long gatherings, building on their and our existing artistic practices, organizing efforts and relationships. The team members who were rooted in each place, whether MCC artists, partner organizers, they took the lead on shaping that gathering and any core themes or issues. And they invited the rest of the team and other collaborators and neighbors into that vision and process. And they also facilitated and collaborated on programming in the other neighborhoods. So there were both many commonalities and parallels across the 5 weeks, and the gatherings in different contexts were really distinct. We invite you to check out www.mobilizecreative.com and our Instagram, mobilize_creative, to learn more about what happened this summer, about the amazing team members that co-created this summer's project with us. Please follow and support all that they do, and about the many groups and local efforts that were part of this multi-community arts engagement.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Siffring, and this is my daughter Rose. We love Athletic Field Park, especially throughout the summer. Every month we participate in Picking Up the Parkways, where we get together with neighbors, meet new neighbors, and go around and clean up our community and make it feel like a safe and welcome place for us to live.
So the reason I joined the Athletic Field Advisory Council is good communities don't just happen. You need to be part of the community, and in order to live in a community that you want, you have to be willing to put in some of the work. And so joining with the circle of neighbors, which we've come to have as family, and gaining the community, it's just been one of the best things that's happened to me in a long time. Seeing my kids play at the playground and seeing everyone wave to each other while they walk down the streets, that's what being part of the Athletic Field Advisory Council means to me, with all the programs that we do, the block sale, the fall fest, movies in the park, just being a part of it all, seeing everybody all the time. It's truly tremendous to see, the amount of work and preparation that goes into this stuff, and to get it back in spades. So I love being part of the Athletic Field Advisory Council.
Hello, everyone. One of the things that stands out to me that the Athletic Field Advisory Council knows how to do really well is their ability to build a stronger and safer community. This happens through their community-based programming, like the annual block sale, movies in the park, picking up the parkways, and many other events that give people the opportunity to meet one another. I've had the experience of being able to meet people through these events, and those people have now become a part of my family. It has been wonderful to meet friends and neighbors, and I am very thankful for the work that the council has been able to do, and for the people behind who give up their time and resources to make this happen. Thank you.
So here's the thing. I think when you move into a community, or even for people who have been part of a community for a long time, I think not everyone knows how things get done. Not everyone knows how to get involved, or even how to introduce themselves to one another. And I think what the Athletic Field Advisory Council does so well is that we think about providing those natural ways for people to come together. We do it through the high chair program, where, there's just folks sitting outside just saying hello. That in itself can make the glue the community needs to stay together. And then you see evidence of it on the block sale day, where, over 100 homes in Irving Park came together to have this day where everyone just sold their stuff. And it felt like a movie set. People were coming together. I had a man come up to me and thank me for this experience because he hadn't known anyone else on his block as of yet and had lived there for almost a decade. So the work we do, of course, for the park programming and making the park a special place is important, but parks are made up of people in our community, and that's what we do well at Athletic Field Advisory Council. I'm lucky to be a part of it. Thanks.
So now we're moving on to our individual volunteer award, VIP award of 2021 for Friends of the Parks. And it's my honor to announce that Jeanette Foreman, the president of Rosenblum Park, is won this. Jeanette Foreman participates in several PACs and community organizations in South Shore, and as a member of the leadership team of South Shore Works, a community organization dedicated to the revitalization and restoration of the South Shore community. She represents and advocates for programming and resources for all parks in South Shore to ensure that parks are included in the strategic plans for the revitalization of South Shore. Since Jeanette was appointed as president of Rosenblum Park, the park has hosted more events at the park, which include movies in the park, dance performances, It's Your Park Day, and several more. Jeanette has taken on the role of not only bettering Rosenblum Park, but has also become an advocate for all parks in South Shore by continuously encouraging collaborations among all these PACs. She has led on issues ranging from health and wellness to increasing youth involvement, to mental health, to public safety, park beautification, and several more. As demonstrated by her leadership of the Rosenblum Park Advisory Council and tireless service towards all parks in the South Shore, it is clear that as Jeanette has made a significant contribution for parks throughout the South Shore, and it is our honor to recognize her with this award. And at this time, Jeanette, I'll open up to you to see if you'd like to share any other words about the service you've done to earn this award from Friends of the Parks.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this honor, because I really respect the work that Friends of the Park has been doing. And indeed, one of the most important things that I think that I've done in the last couple of years has been to work with Friends of the Park in enlarging everyone's understanding of the formidable place that parks play in our whole community's health and well-being, and to make people aware of some of the very important aspects of the park that they may not be aware of, and that is that we have park advisory councils, that those councils were started back in the 80s, and when there was a great disparity, as we are seeing now, about systemic racism and the idea that the parks on the South Side and West Side that had largely Black and Brown constituencies were not being equitably treated. Friends of the Park did a marvelous study, and our parks cooperated with that and participated in making that the public aware. And that has made big reverberations, and big benefits have come not only to South Shore, but I've worked with the coalition throughout the whole South Side, and indeed some of the West Side parks as well. And we know that this undertaking by Friends of the Park made quite a difference in terms of getting the respect, getting the attention, and getting the kinds of services restarted that we've been needing so badly. Thank you so much. This is a great honor, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jeanette, for all the work that you've done and for staying, with the fight all these many years. As well as we do, that it's not easy to bring about change in this city, and having, residents like you that stick with the fight and decide to, be in it for the long haul is part of what makes the changes that we need and the equity that we need, to come to our neighborhoods really possible. So thank you as well for all your hard work.
My pleasure. I see that you are showing some photos, and those are some of my hardworking, very, very active members, and that I share this honor with, actually, because no one person can do any of this. You have you have a photographer, the one that's taking the photos. You have a woman who is on the LSC of the Park District, because my park is actually located in a school in the South Shore High School, which has a whole nother set of circumstances. Any park that's in a school has a whole another set of major problems that we work with. That's Levante Stewart, who is the president and CEO of Lost Boys, who does the activities with baseball and softball in the park with the children that you're seeing. He is probably going to be the next president of Rosenblum. Very, very, very formidable. It's picked up a lot of tabs for us, done a lot of fundraising and coordinating and making great partnerships. We work largely in Rosenblum with partners, and we cannot work it without having the partners like Real Men Charities, Real Men Cook, the LSCs of the school, the Chicago Humanities Festival. There's a Merrill Street Garden, as you say, South Shore Works. There are just a number of excellent and formidable partners that make this work.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all of that. And yes, thank you to all the partners that work in South Shore with you all and all the partners throughout the city. All of that makes a huge difference. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Here we can see Wally as he goes by in the community. Wally is a retired veteran who is one of the elders in the community. This is someone who literally in rain, sleet, or snow wakes up and volunteers a full 8-hour day picking up trash and cleaning Mayfair Park and the rest of the Mayfair community. He manages and works on gardens in the park that aren't tended to by the park district. And he also does the same for plots of land that the city doesn't landscape, but is known by the Mayfair community. He regularly communicates with ward offices on the needs of the parks, and he is given tools and trash receptacles from the ward's office based on the needs that he relays to them. Wally not only is a relentless volunteer in the beautification of Mayfair Park and the Mayfair neighborhood, he is also the driving force of fundraising for Mayfair Park Advisory Council, as visible daily efforts of cleaning up the neighborhood have forged strong relationships with the local business community, which help generate fundraising and enables the Mayfair Park Advisory Council to offer entertainment programming within the park, like movies and concerts. People on the advisory council and in recognize an incredibly unselfish person who epitomizes what it means to contribute to a beloved community, and he serves as an inspiration for others in the community, including Jonathan, who we have on this call. And at this time, I'd like to give you, Jonathan, a chance to share any more words you have about Walter and the service he's provided to the Mayfair Park and the community.
Well, it's definitely an honor to be able to, represent Wally on behalf of this award, because there's just nobody in Mayfair that takes more pride in this community than he does. Literally wakes up with a full to-do list in 8 hours worth of work that he puts into this community every day. Everyone in Mayfair knows this guy. He's, they could see him at all times of day wearing his vest with his little trash, French fry grabber, it's all day, every day. And it's just such an inspiration to see somebody his age or any age that cares so much and gives so much, there was a big initiative for Mayfair Park Advisory Council and the Mayfair Park neighborhood. There was in Mayfair Civic Association as well. There was a kind of a decrepit, vacant piece of land that the community decided they wanted to acquire and convert to a park district park. So, you know, between Mayfair Park Advisory Council, Mayfair Civic Association, and the alderman, Margaret Lorino, you know, it kind of got, the effort got green lighted to try and raise enough money to do this. And so, you know, the Mayfair community had to raise a certain amount of money in order to you know, they had a portion of that fundraising effort that they were responsible for. Well, Wally took that to heart. He was going door to door for weeks in that community, making sure everybody knew about it, making sure, you know, getting pledges from people, collecting donations from the beginning of the initiative to the end, and we got it. And so now we have this park that recently got converted, and it's in Mayfair, and Mayfair Park Advisory Council supports it. And, you know, not only did he help raise that money, I mean, he was by far the biggest fundraiser for it. Not only did he help raise the money, but every day that's part of his routine. He's there, he's picking up trash. He's able to find people that donate bulbs and flowers and different landscaping types of things, and he's planting them in there. I mean, there's just no end to what this guy does for our neighborhood. And you know, I'm not even doing him justice. The guy does so much on a daily basis.
Wow, that's incredible. It's amazing how he's been able to make such an impact in different ways, not only in cleaning up to such a large extent, but also driving this fundraiser and supporting the creation of this park. Of the Parks is 2021 Outstanding Park District Employee of the Year Award. And this year, the Park District Employee of the Year VIP will go to Supervisor Marcus Johnson of Mary Bartelme Park and Union Park. Marcus is being recognized with this award because of his steadfast dedication towards keeping the parks he manages in beautiful condition despite very heavy use. In addition, he is deeply appreciated by local park advisory councils as he helps guide them in planning community events. Marcus has made parks in the West Loop strong staples of the community, and overall is an awesome park manager who is always responsive to community members and pays attention to all the details. Marcus was actually nominated by around his parks, and at this time I want to give you a chance, Marcus, if you want to share a little bit about the service which has earned you this award and this recognition from community members in and around your park there, and really just earned you this VIP award from Friends of the Parks.
Oh, first I'd just like to say thank you to the PACs at Mary Bartelme Park and Union Park. Their advocacy for the communities are unmatched. I've worked for the Park District for the past 16 years, and I've been in several communities. And I would say by far, Mary Bartelme, let me throw in Skinner Park as well, and Union Park are just parks and PACs that go out and, you know, they advocate for the community. They do a great job of special events. They organize, they lead by example, they volunteer, and they donate. And these are just all staples that I think any park needs in order to be successful. So thank you guys for just acknowledging my hard work, but I just want to acknowledge you all's hard work because it takes a combination of myself and community members in order to make the park successful.
Well, thank you, Marcus. And that really is a very key point that you made there, that it takes the collaboration between park staff and PACs and neighborhood residents to really make the park shine. And some of the things that you said about the PACs are exactly how the PACs feel about you. That they feel that you lead by example, that you're a great collaborator, and that you're willing to listen to ideas and help make them happen. So for us at Friends of the Parks, it's always exciting when we see that, park staff, park supervisors really enjoy working with the PACs, and that the PACs feel the same about their supervisors. So thank you all. Congratulations on this, and thank you for being such a great example of the magic that can happen in our parks.
Thank you to Friends of the Park for just recognizing my hard work, and just to the PACs and everybody in the West Loop community, because it does mean a lot. Come to work every day. We try to live by the mission statement of the park. It's just something that I strive for. I love the park district. I love what I do. So just to be, recognized, and everybody to see that the hard work, and I see the hard work that our PACs put in and the things that they do for our communities. It's great. So thank you.
All right. And now we have our Advocacy Award. Every year there are nominations, and sometimes it's people and sometimes it is groups that receive this award for being able to bring an issue forward to the Park District and really make a difference in the lives of Chicagoans. For this year, we have a coalition of people that came together to advocate for having life rings placed along the lakeshore, which is a very important topic. They were very committed to this cause and really ramped it up this year once the lakeshore became open again. And so to talk a little bit about their work and what they did and how they came together, I've got a couple of members of the coalition, and we'll start with the Great Lakes Surf Rescue.
Hi, thank you very much. The Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project is very humbled to be a part of this award. The VIP Award for Advocacy for our efforts to get life rings installed on the Great Lakes. This has really been a huge team effort with Hallie Quesada of the Chicago Alliance for Waterfront Safety, Jessica Leon, whose father also passed away in Lake Michigan in 2018, as well as the family and friends of 19-year-old Miguel Cisneros, his mother, Maria Diaz, as well as her good friend, Noreen Heron, were all instrumental with having this effort move forward with the Chicago Park District. And then here is Hallie Quesada with the Chicago Alliance for Waterfront Safety.
Thank you, Dave. I think the most important thing I always come back to are the people behind this, both the people we lost and the people who continually showed up, specifically just the neighbors in Rogers Park who refused to accept that preventable deaths would be allowed. When I first witnessed a child drown on a Rogers Park beach, I knew it wasn't right. It was all so fast and there was no layers of protection. I went over it over and over again, and there was nothing that could have made a difference that night. And to look out on the beach today and see that there is something that could have mattered to Darian Torres, who drowned in 2018, that does matter. And I wish it was faster and in time for the people that we lost since then. And this work will never bring them back, but we are grateful to their families, especially the family of Miguel Cisneros, for helping ensure that this doesn't happen to anyone else. And again, the Rogers Park community who stepped up, whether it was calling the park district, showing up to water safety presentations, or Jim Gindersky, who started with hanging the first life ring, and all of those that followed, just taking action into their own hands and pushing Park District to do the same. I did meet Jessica Leon in 2018. Dave introduced us, and she was working on the same thing, life rings. It would have mattered to the drowning I saw. It would have mattered for her dad's drowning, and really grateful that we were all able to come together and push this much needed change.
Hi, my name is Jessica Leon. I am the founder of the Horatio Leon Jr. Water Safety Project, created in memory of my father, Horacio Leon Jr. He drowned in 300 South Lakeshore Drive on July 10, 2018, and subsequently passed away on July 23rd of 2018. He is the reason why I got involved in water safety, why I advocated for water rescue stations, life rings with rope to be placed along the shoreline, along the 26 miles of shoreline, not only on the beaches, but every single mile of the shoreline needs to be covered. My father passed away after being on a sidewalk. So that's why I advocate for every single section to be covered. How I feel about the city finally placing the water rescue stations, I feel bittersweet. I'm happy that finally the city has taken responsibility for its patrons. I am sad that it did take so many people to pass away and so many people to push the city in the right direction. It really did take a village. It really did take the entire community to stand up and request the representation of the city for its people. I will finally be fulfilled once I see all water rescue stations placed. I will see it. I will believe it when I see it in its completion. But I'm glad that they're finally taking the right steps.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much for this, and thank you for all the advocacy you did on behalf of making our lakefront much safer.
Thank you. I wanted to also add, I don't know if I can. I've also approached the Illinois education system to get water rescue education into the schools. This is another hurdle that I'm encouraging the entire community, the entire city of Chicago to get involved in. The kids need to know about water safety. This is something that's not in the curriculum, and they very so boldly accept it. And that is very discouraging, sad, but it's not something that we can't change. If water rescue stations were advocated for 3 years and we finally got it done, we can get this done as well. But the entire community needs to get involved.
Okay, thank you for letting us know about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you all so much. And the work that this group has done is an example of what it takes often to get changes at the Park District and other, city departments, is a commitment and a coming together of a variety of groups to really push for this kind of change that will benefit all of us as Chicago. So thank you all for your advocacy, and congratulations on this award. And we know that it means a lot to the different families, and we appreciate everything that you've done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Moving on here to 2021's VIP Community Group Award. It is my pleasure to announce that this year's VIP Community Group Award goes to the North River Commission, also referred to as NRC. The North River Commission is a nonprofit community and economic development corporation for the Northwest side of Chicago. The work they do spans from the Chicago River to Cicero and Addison to Devon. NRC unites over 100 civic associations, businesses, schools, institutions, and places of worship to improve the quality of life in their community by creating affordable housing, quality education, arts and cultural endeavors, open spaces, and thriving neighborhood businesses. This year, the NRC and their many community partners' work in advocating to make improvements to parks along the river in Albany Park were rewarded in a major way as the city of Chicago announced that they would allocate $3.5 million towards Ronan Park for community garden improvements, a new riverfront plaza, a new performance, establish a new park advisory council, which is now helping to oversee this park and spur even more community development here. NRC is now leading a community project with other neighborhood groups called Confluence. This project is a community-involved process involving stakeholders in the area surrounding Ronan Park, which is where the $3.5 million investment from the city will be dedicated to. And these stakeholders include business owners on Lawrence Avenue, residents of surrounding communities to create shared vision and series of improvements on site. The project will implement physical improvements and programming on site that will create amenities for residents and attractive features that draw visitors to the site, support local business, and spur further equitable economic development in Albany Park. This past winter, NRC undertook a 12-week planning process in which they met and listened to local residents, businesses, organizations, local government, and recreational users of Ronan Park. The planning process will help to realize the potential of this site as a neighborhood gateway. Although this process finished now, NRC is continuing to work with residents, businesses, organizations, and other stakeholders to bring this project from planning to implementation. And with that, I'll open it up here to North River Commission community organizer Carson Poole, whose work focuses on parks, recreation, open space, arts, and North Park Village. Are there any more words you'd like to share regarding NRC service, which has earned the organization this award?
We appreciate that. This work really does begin with engaged community, civic organizations, and elected officials that understand parks issues and understand the importance of parks in their community. And so really we started with that in our process with the riverfront parks and with the Confluence project to ensure that there was a park advisory council at River Park representing the interests and the needs of the community, and to also ensure that community vision and community voice was carried through. And we'll continue to do that in the project in the coming years as the money for implementation comes from the city and as the park district gets ready to make the improvements that were first talked about in our comprehensive community plan, and further made clear through our planning process. We're happy to be the conduit for community voice and excited to see all of the improvements that will come to build new amenities for people along the riverfront. We're excited.
Okay, well, thank you, Carson. And for us at Friends of the Parks, we are very excited and glad to hear about all the inclusion of residents and the opinions of people that are living in the neighborhood and that want to continue to stay in this neighborhood, and how they see the kinds of improvements, coming into the community, but in a way that's equitable and inclusive, especially since Albany Park is such a diverse area in the city. So we're very excited to see this. We're also very excited to know that, the park district is paying more attention to parks that are along all the different branches of the river. So both the north and the south. So, we appreciate the work that you all have done, and we look forward to seeing the continued improvements. We know that there are some things that have already taken place. The sculptures are already in place, and we look forward to seeing the rest of this vision unfold. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now we are at the Reimagination Award. Friends of the Parks presents this award to the Douglas 18 Miniature Golf Course team, which took an underutilized golf course located in Chicago's North Lawndale neighborhood and transformed it into a thriving community hub for local residents to gather and play. We especially would like to highlight the Conservation Architect team, also known by the acronym CATS, a cohort of youth from North and South Lawndale that were inspired by Douglas Park's bird population and used their observations to design the obstacles for the mini golf, as well as promote the project in the community. CATS participants were able to go through the full process of idea to finished piece by working with scientists, artists, designers, and architects during the course of the program. We will now watch a video with some of the adult supporters involved, and they will be discussing the details of the project and what it took to make it a reality. The video is approximately 30 minutes.
All right, hi everyone, welcome to Douglas 18. Douglas 18 is a collaboration between Firehouse Community Arts Center, Open Architecture Chicago, Chicago Park District, Center Initiative, Lincoln Park Zoo, Haman Cross III, UIC School of Architecture, Professor David Brown, and North Lawndale Youth. The project is also supported by LL Bean, the Trust for Public Land, Site Design, School of the Art Institute at Holman Square, and Alderman Michael Scott Jr., as well as the North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council. It's also been led by Eric Hoskins, teaching artist, and also Ife Williams. Over the last 3 years, partners worked together to redesign the miniature golf course at Douglas Park with the theme of bird conservation. Teens and young adults from the West Side were employed to learn design, placemaking, and architectural skills, along with education and skills related to the environment and conservation. In the summer of 2019, student designs were handed off to Site Design, a landscape architecture company, and have been professionalized over the course of the last year. In 2021, fabrication and installation of the obstacles were completed. And now we'll talk a little bit more about the process of this program, and I will pass this off to Haman.
I guess phase one, let me start with that. Phase one, during phase one, it was important to make sure we had all of the right partners available to hold the vision of redeveloping this golf course. I remember during phase one when we were kind of scoping out, just learning more about the history of the park, meeting at the park, learning about what had been going on at Douglas Park, talking to Latham, and meeting Lisa from the zoo, and learning, all of the possibilities of what could happen at Douglas Park, and just kind of deciding and figuring out who should be engaged to get us through, I guess, the first phase of bringing community members together to do this. The first summer, we spent a lot of attention really focusing on mural making and object building, and kind of showing some of the kids some of the possibilities involved in actually rethinking what this miniature golf course could look like. Latham, help me out. Do you remember phase one?
Yeah, I think phase one was a lot of what you said, kind of getting folks together and figuring out what this thing was and what it could be. And kind of following what resources and knowledges kind of emerged. And so we, had a really great resource in the zoo with all the knowledge they have around, ecology and how to care for urban ecology in particular. We also connected with local residents like Eric Gyllenhaal and Sarah Haman, who had produced this book about all the birds that lived in Douglas Park. And then we connected with community to see, where the energy would be. And I think people were really excited about opportunities for young people. So that was kind of where we kind of landed. And I think at the beginning, we were really focused on architecture as a centerpiece. And I think it moved a little bit, but we took the architects with us, and they lended a lot of expertise on the project.
Yeah, I remember, I think even when we came up with the name for the kids, the Conservation Architect team, So thinking about how architecture and wildlife and nature kind of coexist, and educating not only the students who participated, but everyone who would be visiting Douglas Park to get an opportunity to learn and to see how how humans and wildlife, and wildlife habitat, can, like I said, coexist, especially when there's development, considering that this miniature golf course had been vacant, kind of needed a lot of love. And, how could we restore the golf course and, like I said, just kind of touch on the nature that already existed at the park. I think Lisa was very important for as phase one also for really representing the zoo and helping us understand the type of support and education that was possible during, some of these first phases. Lisa, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the one thing that I was gonna just mention too was the mobile golf holes that you saw in some of the pictures. That was also a really important product of the first phase, and it allowed us to actually get out of the cultural center, which is where the majority of our work was based that first summer, aside from different field trips that we took with the young people to go birding, to visit different natural sites, to visit other miniature golf courses. But being able to get outside of the cultural center and being able to get out into the community with the mobile golf holes and going to different community festivals. So we went to a lot of different community festivals with these to, again, give people the opportunity to play some miniature golf, but also as a way to have the young people engage with community residents and let them know that this was something that we were working on, so that it just wasn't something that, was happening at the cultural center, but was going outside of the walls throughout the community to different sites. So I think that was also a really important part of phase one.
I think I remember, we were meeting it seemed like every week, and we did a lot of talking and planning and kind of moving at the pace of, what we were understand as project leads on this project, but what was going to be necessary to educate the students and the community. There were times we had to pivot and kind of test and prototype and see what would work. I know Craig was a part of some of those meetings. Craig Stevenson, as we were thinking about what happens in the classroom and what happens when we visit a festival to talk about, the miniature golf course and how do we educate. Craig, do you remember some of those experiences? It's Craig.
Yeah, well, I don't want to just say Craig and Corey, who were also present. Corey is also an educator and taught in North Lawndale. And I think a lot of times in terms of the education process, we wanted to think through all the different relationships that the students had with themselves, with each other, with the community at large, and with the wildlife. We touched a little bit more on, the architecture and design, but we really wanted to make sure that all of these relationships were sort of being used and catalyzed. Had we not had certain relationships, I think with the Park District, I wanted to kind of point that out because the Park District was super instrumental in pushing this forward. With Latham, with Nikki, with Art, with Derek, with Angela already. I think that with Art Richardson, who was over, I don't know if I mentioned him, or the region at that point in time. I always talk about this project as probably being one of the easiest projects and one of the best projects that we've been on as an organization, a 3-year project, but in the sense that everyone was, whether or not some chaos, organized chaos, asymptomatic chaos that takes place in different organizations, but everyone had this one desire in mind, which was to improve Douglas Park, and for that I'm eternally grateful for everyone that's on the screen.
Yeah,
and not present too.
Yeah, it really was an experience where we all learned. I think we all learned something up and down from the instructors who was teaching the kids. I think the Park District learned some things.
And I think that's the type of thing you want with a project like this. And I think that totally helped us bring it together and pull it off. And I think we'll continue to learn something from this type of collaboration. Moving at the pace of the group was really, I don't know, it was one of the key aspects of getting this thing done. We were able to move, as a collaborative, and troubleshoot, problem solve, celebrate our victories, and figure out ways to, to get this going, even to that last leg. I think we didn't even, you think this happened during 2020, with the COVID, when we were able to get to a phase where we were able to pass it on, and get the marketing team involved and start thinking about, after we got these prototypes figured out and these obstacles figured out and who was going to make them with site design, what was it going to take to finish that last leg, and to continue kind of what we had started 3 years ago and take it into those final phases. So does anybody want to talk about site design and kind of what happened during those phases when we had selected what each hole was going to look like, and then, how we was able to finish that in?
During the second and third phase, the students finished up their designs of the golf course, and they took those designs. So before, there were some pictures of 2D drawings of the golf hole. So each student chose their own hole. They chose their own bird that they really liked. And all of the birds that are featured in the golf course are all birds that you might be able to spot around Douglas Park, because there are over 200 different species of birds. We obviously narrowed it down just to the 18 birds because there's just not enough space to talk about all the wonderful birds of Douglas Park. And so what the students did, they made these wonderful designs. They talked about why they made some of the obstacles, whether it be the bird's habitat or the colors of the birds. They also made some beautiful 3D models made out of clay. And so what they did then was we turned those designs over to site design, just so they can, we call it professionalize, and not that the students' designs weren't professional or nice before, but just so it could be more of a blueprint schematic so that fabricators could read the design so they had specific dimensions. But as you all might be able to notice, that each design had, they kept pretty true to the student's design. Sometimes some obstacles removed for accessibility reasons. But for the most part, all of the students' designs stayed true to themselves. So when we say we turn them over to site design, it's not that site design really made, site design just helped to professionalize design so that the fabricators could make it. So each design stayed really true. So here's one from site design, making it more like a blueprint. And also shout out to site design because they did a lot of their work just pro bono for us for free because they're super awesome. And as you all might be able to notice, this is the real life picture of with the barn swallow hole. So from its inception, from that student's brain, Tiffany Town, all the way to kind of in real life. Well, that's not the final portion. That's just a little bit of it. But yeah, that's about, I might have missed something from site design. I don't know if someone else wants to talk more about it, but I think that was the main from that leg of this journey.
Yeah, I think that was significant, to see our students who, we had students who didn't see themselves as designers, right? Come up with ideas and then to have them work with a professional design firm to help translate their ideas into working blueprints, that the fabricator could follow. I think that was key. It helped, develop a lot of confidence in our students to just communicate, their ideas, and then to have resources to match, what was possible, to help see their ideas, their sketches go from something that they drew on a piece of paper to something that was actually created and installed on the course. It was amazing. It was just amazing to see that take place, in the process. And then again, all the learning, I didn't know that there was that many birds, right? I think we remember seeing so many birds just flying over the head. And through this project, now we're able to identify the different variations of birds that fly through the park. I mean, it's another example of how our perspectives change on how we see our environment from a project like this.
Thanks, Haman. Cameron, I'm the current manager of the Douglas 18 miniature golf course, and at this phase, the ideation phase, and the execution phase, it was crucial that this student-centered project, this phase, really transformed the students from architects into like stewards of the space. Haman, I'm using some of your words where you mentioned that it was key as we examine what happens during community development, how we continue to take ownership of that space. And because this was a student-centered project, during these formal negotiations between the architecture firm and the students' design, students had to very much advocate for the representation and the integrity of their design work, and how practical it was for it to be on the golf course. They took ownership of that, and now their names and their designs are immortalized in the community during this new wave of what community development looks like and what ownership of that looks like. Now we're seeing the phase that I call the hurry up and wait phase. This is where construction was beginning. The elements were deployed. The elements were all fabricated, and construction was going to proceed on the schedule that construction was going to proceed at. And we had plans to create a grand opening ceremony for the entire community and all the collaborators. And word about this collaboration was spreading. The question on everybody's lips was, when was the golf course going to open? And so we thought that it was best to continue to involve students from not just the North Lawndale community, but from South Lawndale as well, AKA Little Village, and equip them with much needed marketing skills to help us drum up support for this grand opening. And so we brought on a social media marketing expert, Shannon Waldron of Urban Fets, to help us along with that. Thanks to efforts from our student-led marketing team, our social media presence has grown exponentially. Our opening date was incredibly successful, and we've succeeded in using the golf course as a means to bridge both communities. All of our signage contains English and Spanish translations. Members from both communities feel welcome here, in a neighborhood that can be considered highly contested and divisive between Black and Brown people. Shannon, could you speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Shannon Waldron here. I am the Douglas 18 social media and marketing manager. I was originally brought on board by Sheila McNary, who introduced myself to some of the Lincoln Park Zoo representatives, Lisa, Carmen, and Cameron. And I was fortunate enough to be brought on board to be a part of this wonderful project. I met Craig and Haman and Eric and everyone else. And since then, really kind of developed, I know it's cliche to say family, but it does feel like a camaraderie. I've seen Haman coming and going in the neighborhood, and it's like, it's always love. So I'm very fortunate to be a part of this project, because I think in the long run, and I believe in the long run, it's really cultivated like relationships that expand outside of this one project. So, but nevertheless, I was brought on board to really lead another group of young team leaders themselves. The process, even before bringing them on board, was wonderful. Myself, Cameron, Jada, we intentionally recruited young members from the community, both Little Village and North Lawndale. Most of them not being involved in the site design project, but really just looking to kind of put their hands and get some skin in the game with this wonderful project in the community. So once bringing them on board, our objectives were, pretty cut and clear. We wanted to make sure that we not only educated ourselves about what took place, but also our intentions were to have some community outreach, connecting some of the influencers, businesses, organizations in the area to this project. We also obviously wanted to tell the story about the designs and how the course came together, how birds play a significant role in our ecosystem and within the park. And then ultimately, I took on it as my job to really leave these young members with social media skills, brand building, and marketing skills, just for future career opportunities and entrepreneur ventures that they may be looking to get into. So we met every week, once a week, sometimes a couple more times a week, but usually Wednesdays for 2 hours. With the pandemic going on, it was a bit of a challenge, but we worked through it. It was all through Zooms. So we never really physically got a chance to meet each other until the grand opening. So that was a bit different just for myself, and I'm sure for everyone else, but we really got through that. And again, weekly, we just educated ourselves. We told the story of, initially we discussed how the park came about and some of the history of the park, because obviously Chicago Parks played a huge role in this project, but we wanted to go back and educate ourselves and the audience about the history of Douglas Park, and then the most recently the name change and how that came about, and making sure that we highlighted the group that led that. So then from there, it was about telling the story of the students, of the partners, and really how this all came together, highlighting the student designers. We did everything from, I wouldn't even say rebranding. We really kind of branded, not only just through content, but digitally as well, recreating the logos, designing the whole signs, and just doing some what we call flyer features for Instagram and Facebook content, highlighting some of the folks and really introducing our audience to the people who were behind it, giving them their flowers, and really highlighting them for all the wonderful work that they did. So ultimately, I feel, as well as our partners feel, is this time, which was really about 9 months, was a huge success. We were able to grow our social media presence. It's larger than we imagined. We hit all of our goals. We told our story, and then we also led a successful promotion of the grand opening for Douglas 18 in the summer. So again, this whole project has been very rewarding for myself. I'm sure as others. Can't wait to see what's next. And again, I think now the work has really begun. Now it's the focal point is really on maintaining it and sustaining this project. So.
Can I chime in on that? This project really was by the community for the community, and I think what really revealed itself throughout this process is that every agency, even though Lincoln Park the zoo might be all the way over in Lincoln Park, right? It is very much embedded in the community, right? The park district is citywide, but they are community members, and they are working towards the redevelopment and the reimagining of North Lawndale. And it was really impressive to see just how much dedication all of the different agencies and individuals here had to bringing forth, something that we didn't know was going to be possible when we started, right? Like, we had a vision for it, and that vision kept expanding and growing as every new person got involved. And so just want to say, for even though people are here more than one, multiple phases, I definitely want to say that, the branding piece of it really introduced us or anchored us in the community when we couldn't be physical. We couldn't be physical. We couldn't keep doing our charrettes. So without, the sort of branding, rebranding, without supporting the other businesses throughout your social media plan, I don't think that the golf course would have been as well received. So definitely want to appreciate like that last phase, and so like it was the last nail that we needed to move the project forward. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you say it's the last nail. I think also it was one of the first nails, pillars. I think it should be recognized. Shannon is a resident, North Lawndale, lives right off of Douglas Park. I think Sheila McNeary also, who's here, is a resident. Sheila was there at the very beginning. She was part of one of my first conversations about taking on this project. She was here representing the North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council, the Art and Culture Committee. I remember having conversations with her about this project, and she just encouraging and saying, "Haman, go for it. We should do this." And she's been fighting for us. Sheila's an activist, and a leader, an entrepreneur, and is running the concession stand and helping to run this as a business. The North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council helped put together a quality of life plan with the community for North Lawndale. And this project totally fit in a lot of the kind of focus on how to improve the community, improve the quality of life for its residents. I'm a resident in Lawndale also. And so, again, this is an example how you got people from outside the community and inside the community. You've got multi-generational, you got young people working with younger people, and older people, and being able to celebrate the diversity, of experience and access to the park. I don't know. I know Sheila is here. She might want to say a few things about being a part of every stage of this, even through as it's finished. And now, Sheila's done a lot of work to make sure that this project remains a piece of the community, ongoing. Sheila, you there? You want to say anything?
Yes, I would like to say that from the onset, Haman, when you had the idea of redoing the miniature golf course, because I've lived over there when the other golf course, the old one, was operational. So to see you with that great idea, I said, yes, that would be a great project and a great thing to add to the community. And I've seen it come into fruition. I've seen the students grow and the project grow and become, into fruition. I love it. And the whole course is well received. And I knew Shannon is such a great marketing expert, and I knew he would definitely fit in bringing that. If it wasn't for him, we've gotten so much support from the community and from, all over. We get calls every day. We've had schools to come and play. We've had community organizations come and play, and the people in the community is definitely well received. And thanks to the great marketing efforts that we've had. Thank you, Shannon. And we have such a great person that's managing it as well with me, and that's Haman, and the students that we've had over there, they love it. They learn about birds, and really, this is putting North Lawndale on the map, that miniature golf course. So I'm very happy being there. It's a great space. It's good for you mentally as well to sit out there and see all those beautiful birds passing around you in the water. We have turtles out there, you name it. Rapids. So thank you. And everybody says, we are a family. That's how I feel being there. So I won't take up too much more time, but thank you for asking me to be part of it, Haman, and for bringing that great project, and for Lincoln Park too. And we're looking forward to the concession stand to be built for next season. And it's going to put us even more so on the map. Okay, thank you.
So please come visit us and follow us on our social media. You can reach out to us and schedule a time for you and your party to play during the week, or come by on a Friday or a Saturday when we're open to the public.
And the last day that we're open is October 30th. That's on the Halloween, and we're going to have a wonderful time that as well. And Shannon is going to be telling us more about that.
Monster mini golf.
Yeah, definitely check out our grand closing, right? October 30th, we're gonna do a wonderful Halloween themed miniature golf evening. So bring the kids, bring your best and your scariest costumes. We'll have candy, we'll have tons of fun, and it'll be a vibe. So check us out October 30th. Tickets still on sale.
And you know what, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the park supervisor, Mrs. Salas, and also Mr. Faulkner and Art, all of them, and Latham. Everybody's been so supportive of this project. So we want to make sure we mention everyone. Okay.
Thank you all for joining us and hearing a little bit more about our project. It was great getting to talk more about the process. Feel free, like we said, to come on out, play around the mini golf. We are closing pretty soon, October 30th. You heard it from Sheila and Cam and Shannon, but definitely please join us October 30th to play Monster Mini Golf. Like, that sounds awesome. But yeah, thank you all so much.
Thank you to everyone in the video that we just watched. It is amazing to see the transformation of the golf course, which just highlights why this project was nominated and selected for the Reimagination Award. We are especially moved at the ways the young people that were part of CATS brought science and arts together to completely change what was once a forgotten portion of the park into such a magical and imaginative space. Friends of the Parks would like to acknowledge that the Douglas 18 miniature golf course was developed in partnership with the Chicago Park District, Haman Cross III, Eric Hodgkiss, Sheila McNary, Open Architecture Chicago, David Brown of the UIC School of Architecture, Firehouse Community Arts Center, School of the Art Institute of Chicago at Homan Square, the Trust for Public Land, Site Design Group, North Lawndale Coordinating Council, and Lincoln Park Zoo. Congratulations to all involved. I personally am looking forward to playing a round of golf at Douglas 18 this afternoon on this beautiful fall day. Thank you very much for joining us and hope to see you soon.